Imagine a world with moving pictures. Pictures on a screen that told a story. Now imagine that story with sound, music, characters, ideas flowing off the screen and into your mind. Now imagine, if you will, a group of very particular people. These people watch these stories and they break them down, trying to critique an art form and trying to match an intangible feeling with a quantifiable value.
Spooky.
These people are us. Welcome to Lights, Camera, Wait, this is a podcast. The chair across from me is occupied by a woman. She stands at 4'3" and wears pigtails. She stands at 4'3" and wears pigtails that put the Wendy's mascot to shame. She goes by the name of Stephanie. To her left, we find a man. You can most likely imagine what his appearance is from his name alone, which is Ben. I'm Logan, and welcome to the show.
So just a white guy.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fair.
Is it wrong?
No, I am a white guy.
All right, welcome back, guys.
Wait.
It's Spooktober.
What was that? Was that like
What?
a parody of something?
No, I just wrote it.
Holy
It was.
shit.
I guess it was sort of
Man.
like Twilight Zone. I guess
That's what I thought you were going.
That's kind of what I was going for.
That's
Spooky.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Damn.
5'3".
5'3".
5'3".
Incorrect.
4-3.
I've seen you. You're 4'3" at most. That's generous.
That's on a good day when you're
5'3".
jumping.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, maybe you're 4'3" when you're jumping.
You short little.
Wow.
You try.
That just
You
went
try.
off.
Anyway, we didn't plan this, but we're here at episode 13 with our first episode of Spooktober. So that's a nice little thing. I should have picked like Friday the 13th or something. Anyway, but today we're going to be talking about two sort of horror thriller movies for the spirit of Halloween. I chose them last week. They are 28 Days Later and The Mist. Stephen King's The Mist, the 2007 one, not the recent one.
What was the recent
Wait,
one?
what?
Hold on.
There's like a...
I think I watched 2007 one.
Yeah. No, you probably
I'm
did.
pretty sure.
I think it's like a mini-series or something. I don't know.
Oh,
I just
okay,
saw
yeah.
it when I was looking it up, and I was like, huh, that's weird. It was like this year.
Oh, yeah. No. The thing I watched was not from this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
definitely
it
not.
showed.
Chill. Save it for the pod.
This is the pod.
Oh, shit.
This is true.
Burn.
Anyway, so I think we're going to start out with The Mist, just to kind of get it out of the way. I had not watched this movie since 2007.
Okay.
So,
That makes sense.
I had much fonder memories of it in my head. And rewatching it, I was just like, wow, this is not what I remember.
Okay, that's good to hear.
It did give me nightmares as a kid. But, bless you. Also keep in mind, this was, God, how old? I was like 9. I think I was 9 at the time. So,
Good age.
yeah, good age to go and see this.
It's your sexual prime at 9.
So yeah, let's start off with first impressions. What did you guys? Let's throw a number out there. What do you guys think?
A 5?
That's fair.
I feel like
Fair.
I could boost it up maybe to a 6 because of that ending, but like that's kind of a reach, so I'm gonna keep it at 5.
Yeah,
I gave it a 5.5. 0.5 for the ending.
yeah. I think I'm going to agree with that 5.5.
Yeah.
With a 6 with a question mark,
Okay.
but that one's like erased in the background, and 5.5 is written on top of it, tentatively
Okay.
in light pencil,
Yeah.
potentially to be erased in the future.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of this movie?
I just thought I don't like these types of movies. First off, I don't like how they're shot. Like it's almost shot like a mockumentary, like very
exactly it,
free-flowing camera movements, but it's not, so it just feels weird. And also it's just these things of all these strangers packed into one room, and you're just like, I don't know any of these characters. They're all just like, it's just a whole room of people on a screen, and some of them get more screen time than the others.
That's
and
true.
That's all I feel towards
There
them.
really wasn't that much character
Yeah.
development other
No,
than
not at all.
religious lady trope, and I guess like the neighbor, which died like 10 minutes in.
I totally forgot he died.
Yeah, like
he was like the first one.
No, they just like walked out and that was
the
it.
second one, yeah. Although it's never actually confirmed whether he dies, but the guy that was in his group got torn in half, so I guess it can sort of be assumed.
Yeah, that's why I figured he died. But then when they went into that one house and that one guy was like all webbed up to the wall, I thought that was him at first.
Racist.
Like, yeah, no, I'm just racist.
It was just another black guy.
They looked similar.
He was wearing a military police uniform.
Well, you didn't see that because it was all webbed up.
I feel like the setting from the beginning was a little off for me. Like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like... It just felt really weird.
Now, this movie was based on a novella by Stephen King. And it's actually... The novella itself actually inspired the game Half-Life. Which is kind of like an interesting little thing, like the monsters and things described in the book, and the idea of like, the military opening up portals or whatever. I actually don't remember much about Half-Life. It has also been a very long time since I've played that.
I don't think I ever played it.
It's they actually make a somewhat reference to it in the movie. The director was asked and said it was intentional, but when they go into the pharmacy, one of the people is carrying a crowbar, which is like the main weapon in Half-Life.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I feel like this movie should have stayed on paper, just not been a film.
Yeah.
It's kind of a hard movie I
feel like with a lot of Stephen King adaptations, you're gonna get that.
Yeah.
And this is
really
this is the third Stephen King movie that this director has done. Frank Darabont is the director and writer of the screenplay. He also directed and wrote the screenplay for The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile.
That's so funny to me.
Both of which are far superior to this movie.
That does
they're
not even
great
compute to me.
movies.
And he also is one of the creators of The Walking Dead. And he tried to get the main character from The Mist.
The knockoff Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
God, I can't even... His last name is Jane. He played the Punisher.
What? This guy?
Yeah.
Really?
The original like Punisher movies.
Oh, not the Netflix ones?
Right.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But at one point when he goes into the comic store, it was originally written for him to grab a Punisher comic, but he had like a falling out with the studio that made the movie, so he instead decided to grab a Hellboy comic because he's good friends with Ron Perlman, who played Hellboy. So
wait, that was in this movie? They went to a comic store?
The pharmacy had comics.
Oh.
And he grabbed one for his son.
Who did he end up killing?
Shh. Don't tell us that.
Shut your up, Stephanie.
This podcast is about spoilers. What are you talking about?
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, no, that ending was crazy.
Yeah, the ending is different than the book.
How'd the book end?
The book did not end that way.
Was it a happy ending for the book?
I don't remember.
The son survives with him. That's basically...
Oh, okay, that's nice. But he kills the two?
But it's not like the military doesn't come rolling in. I don't think he like kills everyone. It's a completely different ending.
Also, remember how he was crying?
Yeah,
just
that was
yelling.
Bad.
Honestly, that's like...
This boy never cried before in his life.
But I mean...
No, I mean, he's
that's
actually...
very... Like, I would...
No.
It's a hard thing to do. You just killed your son, and then people come and rescue you, like, minutes after you just did that. Like, they had a chance.
I would just laugh
I'd
it
blow
off.
my brains out right there.
How silly of me.
Yeah. No,
Such a silly guy.
Apparently Stephen King actually liked this ending more than his own book ending.
Damn.
I would too.
Stephen
Honestly,
King's hard to impress with his movies.
Yeah.
So that's
and
cool.
King was actually frightened. He was actually scared when he saw the movie.
Like Steven Bitch.
Which, I don't know.
Which, like, the CGI was like...
Don't lie.
It wasn't horrible.
Keep in mind, it was also 2007.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is, like, the sort of dawn of when people started really overusing CGI for things.
Which is why I feel like critiquing both of these movies is hard.
Yeah, it hasn't aged super well.
No, I didn't think it was
at the time,
horrible.
I'm sure this was like terrifying.
Yeah.
Just it took me out of the movie a little bit. Yeah, but it wasn't that bad.
The whole aspect of not knowing what the hell is out there in the mist,
octopus,
is like it's scary. You know, you can't see these things. You know that there could be something 10 feet away, and you'd never know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when they started showing all the creatures in detail, it kind of takes away from that.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it still held that aspect of mystery because you never saw everything that was out there. Every single time they had an encounter, it was with something new.
Yeah. Sorry. I just remembered the scene when, like, the religious lady was first speaking out. No, not the religious lady. It was the mom who had the kids at the house. And she was, like, asking for someone to, like, help her out. And just no one was making eye contact with her. I was just like...
She survived.
Huh?
She survived.
She's in the caravan at the very end with her kids. It shows a shot of her.
Oh shit! Look at her.
Yeah, she actually made it home and got her kids.
But I thought it was so funny, everyone's face, because it just reminded me, like, you know, in like high school when you're supposed to like read a chapter, and the teacher's like, "Okay, guys, who wants to comment on the chapter?" And like no one read it, so they're just not making eye contact with the teacher. That's what I thought was happening. It just looked like it.
One of my big issues was with this movie, I think, is the directing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this movie was shot in 37 days. And it was shot using a TV film crew instead of a movie film crew.
That makes sense.
And it was like, I don't know. It just, the whole movie, it felt like the characters weren't given any direction.
No, not really.
A lot of them were just sort of standing there most of the time.
Yep.
And in the group scenes, when there were all these people huddled around and one person would speak at a time and everyone else would be quiet and listen to them.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how people act. They're constantly talking over one another. People are having side conversations. But no, everyone was dead silent, giving attention to every single person. No one was trying to talk over one another. They were just politely listening to what they had to say, even if they were arguing. And it was just like, wow, this is really civilized.
Yeah. It's a utopia. They found it. No, but I hate these types of movies because everyone has that movie face where they're like about to do something really heroic. They're like lifting up an eyebrow. I was like, no one makes this. This isn't a normal human emotion. That shit always makes me angry because I'm like, this is a movie.
I feel like the most exciting part of this movie was probably when they left the supermarket. I was kind of over it. Like movies with one setting are really hard to do and hard to keep like the audience entertained.
Yeah.
So it was really hard.
It felt very short too.
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh no, this thing dragged on for
just the one setting thing.
But looking back on it, it's like, what happened?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, they had like an encounter, another encounter.
That's not a good thing.
And then like they went out and they got the medicine. And then they left. And it's like, oh, wait.
You know what was weird about that? They were like in a pharmacy, and like the exit shot where they like walked out of the pharmacy, it looked like a diner.
Yeah.
I was very confused.
I noticed that. It may have just been like an old-timey style one that had like a, I don't know.
But I was really confused. I was like, wait, were they in a pharmacy or a diner?
Yeah.
Maybe go,
This felt like Stranger Things. Like
not as fun though.
Not like the storyline, but like, you know, the monster is the same creature in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And like they webbed them
kinda.
too. Mm-hmm. So I was like,
yeah. That's
because like they showed the outline of this creature, right?
Yeah.
It kind of looked like the Demogorgon.
And it's about like the government opening portals and Stranger Things.
Actually.
Yeah, like
and the giant creature at the end too, walking along with all the legs and the things coming off. Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow, Stranger Things.
I mean, to be fair, Stranger Things lives off of just pulling from past things.
Yeah.
So
But the director was actually offered $30 million to make this movie by a producer. Like it would have been like a $30 million budget for the movie.
Damn.
But he declined it because, and he ended up taking another offer for half that amount.
Why?
Why? Because the original producer had one condition, and that was that he changed the ending. And he didn't want to change his ending.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's the best part of the movie.
So he took the lower offer, which is potentially why it may have suffered slightly in the production value.
But it's still, even if the CGI was good, I still wouldn't have cared about this movie.
Do you know the budget?
I do not.
I think it was $8 million, right?
Damn.
It was...
Maybe, I think?
No. That was 28 Days Later budget.
Oh, well then.
I don't think he would have taken that big of a dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say it was around 15. Right. But I think for what it was, I think it adapted the material fairly well. It's just that the material wasn't really meant for the screen.
That's exactly what I feel.
I would need to read the book, but...
And I feel like, again, most of the problem was with the director, because a lot of these actors have been in other things, and a lot of them are good actors.
The only one
that one mother who left her children, she's in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
She plays Carol.
Oh, the only one I knew was the neighbor, because he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
And he crushes it. That boy's so funny.
Yeah, I just...
That's it. That's the only one I knew. What's the knockoff Mel Gibson guy in?
I've seen him in movies. I just don't remember
Gail
them.
Mibson. That's what I should call him, huh? That guys, huh? Gail Mibson.
Wow.
Nah, but there's also one part where...
Thomas Jane is his name.
Who else has he been in?
Deep Blue Sea, Boogie Nights, Thin Red Line,
Boogie Nights.
The Expanse, The Predator.
Was he the Predator?
He played
That's
Baxley.
where I've seen him, the Predator.
I know, but there's one part where that one cashier chick got bit on...
Oh, that was cheesy.
Also, the bug was on her right side, and then she had the bite mark on her left side.
Because the stinger's on the back, so that...
Okay. Never mind, this movie's awesome.
Debunked.
Also, Ollie. Ollie's a beast.
Wait, who was Ollie?
Ollie was the weird-looking guy. He just knew how to do everything.
Yeah.
When he just shot the religious lady, I was like, "Damn, you a beast."
No, when she was like talking, I'm just like, "Throw more peas at her, please."
I love
like,
when the old lady checked the can.
I got more peas.
That's a highlight.
That was the best part of the movie.
Honestly, that's the only thing I really remember.
Yeah, like I feel like it went fast for me when they left the grocery store, and I was relieved that they left because I was like, finally, this is like fast-paced. I can actually watch this.
Like, just the idea of driving through like fog that thick is terrifying to me. Like, even if there's not monsters out there, you know, because it's just dangerous to do that by itself. But like, I don't know. The idea behind this movie has so much potential, and it could be very spooky, very scary.
And it pulls on that idea of I forgot how to say the philosopher's name, but just hell is other people. Like, I think both this and 28 Days Later are kind of that same concept, where there is like this outside being, like that is supposed to be the imminent danger, but really where the main problem comes is between the people.
Yeah.
Which that's always
just like breakdown of society.
Yeah.
And like person turning on person when there really is a bigger outside threat.
Yeah, but like if they didn't and they just all chilled out, those army men would have came for them.
I like that one of the people was like, "You murdered her," when they literally all like group stabbed a dude and shoved him out to get eaten by monsters. Like,
I fucking hated the first scene when they were messing with the generator and those two idiot people just like made that boy go out. Yeah, no, like half the time, like most of them were just standing there watching, and it's like, okay, just run away, you know, pull him, chop at it with the axe, like do something. I would have ran away. It was a very small market and had a lot of people. Yeah, and that's why I feel like the setting was off for me.
just because I felt like, why is there so many people? And I felt like,
well, it's because the power went out and everything.
Yeah.
And what I was
I know that.
What I was kind of curious about.
I just felt like it was just too many.
There was.
Yeah.
I felt claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was partially the idea.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're
so welcome.
oh God, what was I gonna say?
Oh jeez. Oh
Cut
God.
this out.
Oh God. Oh God. What were you gonna say?
You gotta cut this out.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Yo, hurry. Hurry.
Finish the thought.
Hurry.
Oh my
God.
Oh my God.
I was just curious, like, why when the mist first rolls in and the guy comes in with like his nose bleeding and everything, and he's like, something in the mist stole the guy, and they like lock the doors and everybody just starts taking shit for free off the shelves, like.
That's
If they weren't convinced that the apocalypse was happening, which obviously they weren't later on because everyone was like, what? That's ridiculous. There's nothing out there. Why were they all locked up in there taking shit off the shelves like it was the fucking apocalypse?
That's it, dude. People they'll take any opportunity.
Yeah, looking in dangerous situations.
Yeah, but they all believed that, we could just walk out there and it's fine. So why weren't they?
You're right.
I don't know. None of these characters.
I don't know.
I mean, you don't really know what's going on, so I feel like
a guy comes in saying somebody was murdered by some creature in the mist. He's got blood all over him. You saw a guy go out to his car, the mist comes in, and he starts screaming for his life before it's suddenly cut short. And then everyone's like, oh no, it's fine out there. Nothing's happening. What?
Yeah, the guy was like, you're joking.
Yeah. No, it was just, that was weird to me. The start of this movie is weird.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of a difficult concept to introduce, I feel like.
Because I get why they just immediately put you in the situation. Which is like...
It's a very weird concept to just, like, introduce. And it almost felt forced when they explained what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but no, the biggest thing for me is just I really feel like the director just did not know what he was doing half the time and just didn't give direction to people. He just had the script.
I mean, seeing what he directed previously towards this movie,
it just doesn't make sense to me.
It just doesn't connect.
It's like something happened here, and we're not getting the full story. I don't know. This was like shot really quickly. And it was only like 2 locations, but still.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he nailed Shawshank.
Yeah, and Green Mile. I love the Green Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are both Stephen King adaptations really too, also.
It's like also Stephen King, also same director, same screenwriter.
It doesn't make sense.
But this one just flopped for some reason.
Maybe The Mist just sucks.
Apparently.
As a story.
But I mean, like, even the filming and everything was like, the production of it was like off.
Yeah.
We need to call him up.
Was it a different studio?
I have no idea.
Maybe. I feel like I saw a different studio for...
It could have been.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Because Shawshank and Green Mile...
I think it was like Dimension or something.
Do have like the same vibe, which I mean, they're both prison films, but like it's different. But like they do feel the same, and this one just feels completely like a downgrade.
Yeah.
It's just like, what'd you do, man?
Yeah, it was like...
It's almost like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting the whole time.
And it was shot by a TV crew, so...
But like, they should know how to... It's practically the same, I think.
I feel like that's all I have to say about this movie.
That's all I gotta say about that. Remember that movie? Remember that movie?
What movie?
Forrest Gump.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got nothing else to say. What was the name of this movie?
I liked the line where the guy was like talking about how he's gonna something about like, you know, shove my size 10 boot like in your face or something like that. And it's like, why are you bragging about having size 10? That's like average. That's like average adult male feet. Like,
yeah, that's what I have.
I don't know. It just felt weird that he was like bragging about having size 10 feet, and it's like, that's not that big. That's just like a normal foot.
I don't know. I just want to make sure people know what the fuck.
I'm gonna hit you with my 12-inch ruler.
Oh yeah, there is a Thriller series. This one is not well received either.
Nice.
I'm trying to look if anything happened.
But like especially the scene in the end, I feel like the actors just weren't given direction, and they all had sort of different ideas of how the scene was going to go, and then Thomas Jane just sort of gave a half-ass performance in the like crying.
Yeah, the boy, like, he turned his head for like the first time in that whole car ride.
Yeah.
And then he gave like a shocked look, and then he just started shooting people, and I was like, I'm like...
Who do you think he shot first?
His son first.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And then who?
The woman.
And then the old lady?
Yes. No. Well, from like with the gunshot...
I think he shot the old man last.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would assume.
Yeah, because the old man was like totally... He had the exact same idea. They looked at each other. He nodded like he knew exactly what was coming.
The splatter of the blood didn't correlate to the bullet hole though. I was really his bullet hole was on the side. Bodies don't stay in the same place. Stay in the same place when they're shot. But I mean, the shot was on the side of his head, but on the left side of his head, or no, the right side.
He could have turned his head.
I mean. You're the one who usually criticizes bullet holes, so
I don't think I've ever criticized a bullet hole.
You've done cigarettes, which is like what nobody notices. You've done that.
Okay, he took the cigarette and then he took it out of his mouth, and no smoke came out whatsoever. Smoke was coming out of this was Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, right.
No smoke was coming out of his... He wasn't actually smoking, and it was really obvious that he would like cut away or something. Like, don't make it so obvious that it's a fake cigarette.
Budget was $18 million.
Okay, yeah, so it was almost half of what it was offered. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that, especially that ending scene where he's like having his breakdown, it was almost comical.
Yeah, no, I was like...
I laughed, which is not good.
No, yeah, it could have been much more dramatic.
I was still shocked.
Oh, yeah.
That ending is like...
I could tell the army man was going to come up.
Yeah, even though that like... knowing the ending, even with that sort of half-ass performance... It was still like heart-wrenching.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that ending is what makes me enjoy this movie overall. The rest of the movie is just like par. And then that happened and it was just like, oh, wow. Okay, that's memorable. That is like, this is ouch. This is something happened, and
then you remember
it sticks with you.
And then you remember that he directed Shawshank and Green Mile, and you're like, oh,
and then that hits you even harder.
I was waiting for a family member to kill a family member. That happens at every Stephen King thing. Yeah. It's crazy. I was just like, what is this boy?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Carrie.
Right. It was
Shining.
Uh-huh. Did it happen in It?
In what?
It?
Yeah, definitely in It. I think that's my extent of Stephen King.
Yeah,
but there's always a family member killing a family member.
Funny enough, Stephen King did so many drugs while he was like writing most of his books. He was once asked about a book, The Tommyknockers.
I don't know.
Which is like sort of well known. Like if you know Stephen King, like books, if you read his books, you've probably heard of it. But like, it's not like one of the more well-known ones. But he has no memory of writing it.
Really?
He was on so many drugs at the time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That he has no memory whatsoever of writing the book.
Wow. That's crazy. Imagine reading that and being like, I wrote this?
So, wow, this is really good.
Yeah, I was like, I did a good job on these drugs.
Wow, I wonder what's going to happen next.
Is that a well-received book?
Yeah. No, like, I've talked to people. It's like their favorite book. So
really? That's wild.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're making a Pet Sematary movie.
Oh, really? Wait, did they already make one?
Probably.
I feel like they've already made one.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they have, but a new one.
But yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna stick with my 5.5 on this one.
I'll stick with my 5.
There was just something wrong with it.
Yep.
There's something off, and I think last week or like 2 weeks ago when I picked it, I was just kind of like, going off of the nostalgia of the first time that I watched it, because I was like, oh yeah, I remember this movie. This movie was so good. But it was because I watched it with my dad, and it was in 2007. So
funny enough, that's how I feel about 28 Days Later. Is because I watched it when I was 6, and I remember it being so terrifying.
Yeah.
And then now I have like a different opinion on it. And I'm like, whoa, this is weird.
It's weird. It's a weird thing growing up, isn't it?
It really is. But I'll talk more about it.
You've grown like 2 feet since then. Just a bunch of stuff changes.
Beautifully. Thanks.
Yeah, you still look like 6. You still look 6.
Yeah.
I think it's
Are
funny
you rating me as 6?
Still look like 6 years old.
Like you're a 6-year-old child.
Okay.
Like you were a small child baby kid.
Baby kid. This for Pet Sematary, just talking about the past Stephen King adaptations, and it says, for every Shawshank Redemption, Carrie, and The Shining, you'll get Cujo, The Mist, and Dreamcatcher. So I guess people didn't like this either.
Okay. Yeah, no, this movie was not
good.
The best. It was definitely. It was not the best.
Kind of reminded me of Sharknado.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay, I wouldn't say Sharknado.
Well, like the graphics, like
yeah.
Like it was like
it was better than Sharknado with the graphics, but like
I meant
there were some cheesy, corny ones.
Yeah.
The actual like prop tentacle though was like pretty cool.
When I feel like the one that was like chopped off.
The
movement of it was weird though.
Yeah.
Spooked me. When they poked it?
Did it really?
It was actually
spooked,
it was like a pretty it was a pretty well made like
yeah, no, that part was decent.
Yeah, especially like the like gore and stuff on the wall, like all the weird colors and shit. But no, it's yeah. I'm sad.
It's okay,
I remember this movie being so much better.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
But anyway, I think we're gonna be moving on.
Please.
Take a quick commercial break. And then we'll be right back after these messages.
Love you.
Hi. Do you want to listen to this podcast? Hi, this is Logan from Lights, Camera, Wait, This is a Podcast. Here to promote Lights, Camera, Wait, This is a Podcast. Now, if you want to listen to our podcast, congratulations. You're already doing it. Now, if you want to follow us on Twitter or whatever, don't. Just kidding. Please do. We've got 6 followers, and I know all of them personally. And one of them is me.
And me.
And me.
So look us up on Twitter. I think it's like the acronym for the podcast. It's like LCWWTIA pod.
Maybe. Is it pod?
I think it's pod. It ends with pod. But anyway, or you could just look up Lights, Camera, Wait, This is a Podcast on Twitter.
Yeah,
I think we're the only result.
Well, as I said, there's that other one. Lights, Camera, Lights, Camera, Barstool.
Yeah.
Barstool.
Hey, Lights, Camera, Barstool, invite us onto your show.
Yeah, let's have a fist fight.
But yeah, listen to our podcast. It's pretty good if you like that kind of thing. Yeah. This has been a commercial.
Wow.
Hey guys, what's up? We're back. Hope you liked the commercial. So we're going to be talking about our next movie now, which is 28 Days Later. This movie came out in 2002. IMDb description written by some guy.
Yeah, we gotta stop doing IMDb.
4 weeks after a mysterious, incurable virus spreads throughout the UK, a handful of survivors try to find sanctuary.
Why did he say 4 weeks after? Why didn't he write 28 days after?
Because. But it was kind of funny. I looked through multiple summaries on IMDb because I want to try to find the best, most succinct one, and I found a really my phone is dying. Okay. I found one that I found very funny.
Let's hear it.
Let me find it really quick.
Wow, it seems like you should have had this pulled up beforehand.
Yeah,
huh?
I should have just cut this out. It's okay, just cut this out.
No.
That's fair.
My stomach hurt. My roommate Diego made tacos, and there was like a meat that was cooking and a meat that was done cooking, and I didn't know the difference. I took the one that was cooking.
Oh no!
I was cooking for a little while though, so I think I'm good.
Oh no!
Also, wait, I just want to retract a statement about Baby Driver. I've always said the name is really stupid because his name's Baby and he's a driver. But what I learned, which I feel
it's based on a song.
Yeah, incredibly stupid. It's in the credits.
Yeah,
it's Baby Driver.
Wait, did you not know that?
No, I've always said the name's stupid.
No, the movie he was named because of the song,
which is great. That's such a great name. To the Simon and Garfunkel,
Christ.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I always thought it was a name like Good Will Hunting, or that if you think about that name, that's the dumbest name in the world.
True,
because his name's Will Hunting and he's good.
Okay, this guy's name is Claudio, and he's from Brazil. He lives in Rio de Janeiro.
All right.
And his description says, animal activists invade a laboratory with the intention of releasing chimpanzees that are undergoing experimentation, infected by a virus that causes rage. The naive activists ignore the pleas of a scientist to keep the cages locked, with disastrous results. 28 days later, our protagonist, Jim, wakes up from a coma, alone, in an abandoned hospital. By the way, with all these like pauses and stuff, it's like commas that he wrote into this summary.
Yo, he thinks
in an abandoned hospital, he begins to seek out anyone else to find London is deserted, apparently without a living soul. After finding a church which has become inhabited by zombie-like humans intent on his demise, he runs for his life. Selena and Mark rescue him from the horde and bring him up to date on the mass carnage and horror as all London tore itself apart. This is a tale of survival and ultimately heroics, with a nice subtext about mankind's savage nature. So he goes on to describe in detail half the movie.
He thinks he went off.
Yeah.
I bet he did that all from memory. He was just trying to brag to someone.
This podcast is dedicated to Claudio.
Hey, shout out Claudio for doing that.
Thank you, Claudio. You should be a writer.
No, it's okay. I want to keep it real with you, Chief. Don't.
Yeah, Claudio, if you, for some reason, didn't the analytics say we had one listener in Brazil? Is it so. Claudio?
Oh my God,
Claudio, if you are our one Brazilian listener.
Write your heart away. I'm so sorry.
Please. Anyway, this movie is rated R, directed by Danny Boyle.
Why'd you say it was rated R?
Because that's what I have on my list. I don't know. Directed by Danny Boyle, who is also the director of 127 Hours, Slumdog Millionaire, and Trainspotting.
Yeah, you were talking. Nope, just kidding. You weren't.
Trainspotting?
That was my roommate.
Trainspotting?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Trainspotting.
Do you guys like it?
The monologue
at the beginning. I haven't seen it.
I don't think I have either.
I've heard it was good, though.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
It's about like heroin, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly the entire movie.
Cool. Written by Alex Garland, who went on to write Ex Machina, Dread, and Annihilation.
Oh, really? I haven't seen Annihilation yet. I've been meaning to.
Saw like parts of it, and for some reason, the entire time I was just thinking of Ex Machina.
Okay.
And I guess that's why, is because it's like the same writer or something, but like, yeah.
I liked Ex Machina. That was cool.
Yeah, it was. I end up comparing a lot of movies to it.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me when I first watched it.
I have a feeling I've already said this on the podcast.
I don't think so.
I don't know. But Ex Machina is a movie that like you watch and you're like, hey, that was pretty good. I didn't waste my money on that. And then you sort of forget about it. It didn't really do anything new. It wasn't really like, it was good in every field, but it wasn't the best in any field. And it was just sort of a movie that happened that you forget about for a while until somebody else brings it up, and then you're like, oh yeah, that movie was good. And maybe you see it on TV. Maybe you see it, it's halfway through, and you're like, oh, I'll watch this till the end. But you're not going to go out of your way to watch it again. You're not going to go and buy the movie to go and watch it again. Like, I don't know. And
I've been thinking about it recently for some reason. I feel
like there have been a lot of movies like that to me, and I think the first one I realized was Ex Machina, so I now compare everything that's like that to it.
I like that one scene where they're dancing.
Everybody does.
It's a great scene.
Frank always mentions about recreating it. I'm like, Frank.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I do love that so much.
But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 28 Days Later. The budget for this movie was $8 million, and it ended up making $45 million. This movie came out in 2002.
I was baby.
Which was a little surprising to me. It seemed earlier than that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It seemed
doesn't
earlier.
Surprise me
2002 seemed...
This was the first major, like, mainstream movie to be shot on film entirely on film. Or on digital. Sorry, not film. Used no film.
Really?
It was all digital, yeah. And it's got 2 sequels. 28 Weeks Later, which came out in 2007, and then a graphic novel, which was then adapted into like a short film, also in 2007. And the original movie, the original screenplay, 8 different endings were written for it, and 7 of them were filmed, and then 1 of them was storyboarded. You can watch it on YouTube. But no, there were several different endings. How would you guys have ended this movie?
I think there is an ending that I preferred. I don't remember which one it was. But, you know, if the guy died, I wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah, there were like 4 endings where the guy died.
Wait, how did this movie end? How come I can't think of it?
Okay, it's like they get into the car, and I guess he passes out or something. Something happens to him. And then he wakes up.
He was shot.
Yeah, he was shot. And then I think he has like distant memories of... what's her name?
Yo, Stephanie just hit the mic with hit her face with a mic.
Ben can't talk.
Hit her face with a mic.
He has like a distant memory of Selena trying to like revive him because he had been shot, and then it ends up with them in a cottage somewhere, and then like a helicopter like above them or something.
Yeah, in the mountain district of
I remember now.
And then a fighter jet goes by, and apparently what he says is actually Finnish. So he's from Finland.
Oh.
And he says, apparently in Finnish, he's saying, "Could you send a helicopter?"
Didn't he say that?
Because,
I thought I remember him saying helicopter.
He said something in Finnish, and the word which I'm assuming is helicopter is helicopterin.
Oh, okay. So I just figured.
Close enough.
I figured that was helicopter.
But
I don't know how I'd like to. I like that ending. I think.
Yeah.
Or they could just die.
Are we gonna rate it?
Oh yeah, ratings. What do you guys think?
Oh, okay.
Duh.
Well, considering I don't know how to rate this movie, but I have like 2 ways that I'm deciding.
It's hard.
But considering this is the first outdated concept.
What?
Like the whole like zombie thing. Like this movie, literally.
This was not the first zombie movie.
I know that it wasn't George Romero.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I meant like the whole concept of like the apocalypse. The Walking Dead. That first scene of this movie is the same scene as The Walking Dead.
Yeah, The Walking Dead had like paid homage to this movie.
Yeah, which is like why I'm saying like, you know, first of an outdated concept, because
why is it outdated?
It is.
It is outdated. It's too many.
Zombie movies are still cool.
It's too many of them. But I think.
And this isn't a zombie movie technically,
maybe,
because they're not dead. They're sick. They're infected. They're still people.
Did they explain that?
They just have a virus. Yeah.
I guess.
6.5.
What'd you give it?
6.5.
6.5.
Really?
Wait, what was the 2 ways to rate it?
Also that when I was younger.
Well.
Yeah. No, well,
Don't do that.
No. That's not how I was gonna do it. No, I just remember this. Like, we usually base it on how much we enjoyed it, but I feel like it's unfair.
I mean, you can rate it.
I don't rate mine on enjoyment.
That's the main. I mean, there's different factors for me, but that's the main factor.
I try to stay objective most of the time.
Nah.
And then for some of them, I give an enjoyment score and a more objective score.
Rate it how you want.
I would give it a 6.
Okay. For enjoyment?
Enjoyment. Well, there was I had a lot of criticism on the movie.
Okay.
So,
I mean, for enjoyment, I feel like I normally enjoy good movies.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I think it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
There are some movies that are objectively not good movies that I still really enjoy.
Yeah,
though.
Phase 4. That's
no.
Yeah, for me. For me.
But like the Anchorman movies.
Yeah.
They're obviously like not,
the first one.
amazing movies. The first one's like okay, but
I need to rewatch it.
Like I actually really enjoy watching Anchorman 2, which is objectively a terrible movie.
I remember liking it in the theaters when it first came out. I used to love the first one.
No, it's fucking hilarious.
I haven't watched it since. But every now and then I'll watch like a clip of it on YouTube and I'm like, yeah, this shit go hard. Are you done, Stephanie?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Chill.
All right, what'd you think?
I give it a 7.
I also gave it a 7.
Way too much silence. I moaned and then there's just silence.
We're letting you enjoy your first orgasm by yourself.
But this movie had 8 different endings. One of them was like when they like take him into the hospital to try to revive him after he's been shot. He just dies and they walk out, and then that's the ending. It's just like the two of them walking out. And test audiences were just like, what? Because they just walked out, and people were assuming that like, oh, they're just accepting their death and they're just going to walk out to die. But he was like, no, it signifies that no matter what happens, they're always going to survive together.
That's not what I would get from it either.
And then one of them was, he dies in the hospital. They walk out, and then they go to the like mountain district together, and just the two of them, and it's the same ending, but just without him.
That'd be sick. I don't mind that he's alive.
That one ending.
One of them was a freeze frame. The freeze frame when the car is like crashing into the gate, it just ended right there.
And the Seinfeld theme song comes on.
Yeah.
There is one ending that I read, which I wouldn't have minded, except the director thought it didn't make sense, which it didn't.
With the blood transfusion one?
Yeah. I think
I'm glad he didn't go with that one.
Yeah.
What?
Basically, they found like a cure to the thing, but it required like a transfusion once you received it to like filter it out of the blood. But realistically, the thing spread so fast that there was no way they could filter it out of the blood.
They were going to do it to Frank. And Jim.
Frank was infected, and then they were going to do that to save him.
And then Jim would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
there were a couple endings where he got infected.
Yeah, I just like the concept of main characters dying in movies. That's just like, I like that.
You know what? What was the first zombie film called? Night of the Living Dead? Yeah, that ending.
I don't know if that was like the first ever, but it was like
he's the
big
godfather.
That's like
remember
the one that
ending?
Basically like defines. I have never seen it.
Oh really? Yeah. Do you remember that ending, Stephanie?
Barely.
That shit pissed me off. Can I say it? Do you care?
No.
Let's not.
Yeah, we're gonna go through those Romero movies. Those Romero movies are.
We're spoiling 2 movies already here. Let's not just throw random spoilers in for other movies.
You sound like you dumb bitch.
Jesus.
Fuck you up. Don't come near me.
But the filming for this movie was hectic, which I would imagine. I've been to like London, and there are people everywhere, always. Like, there is never a time when everything's just empty.
Yeah.
We were out at 2 a.m. and there were people lining the street. And it's just like, what? This... like, when the hell did they film this? And so, apparently, they filmed most of the scenes in the city between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. And they had police block off the roads while they, like, set everything up. And... people were getting really angry and making complaints and things because they were like, hey, I can't, get to work my normal way. And so they hired really attractive women to give them the information like, hey, the street's closed. And people stopped complaining.
People are trash.
Yeah. Hey, British people are trash.
Well, no, it would go down the same way here, too.
Yeah, it would.
Where'd they film Shaun of the Dead? Was it not also in, like, London?
That's a good question, and I don't know.
That's all I gotta say.
But the motorway scenes, which, like, freeway, it was filmed in one day between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. And police had, like, slowed traffic down over a, like, long period of time. They, like, slowed traffic down and let certain amounts of people through. And they just filmed anytime it was empty. And so
stressful.
Yeah. And so out of 2 hours of filming with 10 cameras, they got 1 minute. 1 minute of usable footage between all 10 cameras.
God damn. Yo, that shit sucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
But apparently it's explained in, like, the graphic novel, I guess, or maybe not in the graphic novel, but it was explained to the actress that played Selena,
who also played in Moonlight.
Really?
Who's the mom?
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking she looked familiar. I was like, I've totally seen her in something before.
I just didn't want to be racist again. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've already used one racist past this video. This episode.
Hey man, it's okay.
Shut up.
No, you. I'll fuck you up. I said so.
Bet. But apparently,
slap your titties.
As part of her, like, character or whatever, they told her backstory, even though it's never explained in the movie, to sort of cement the attitude that she had towards everybody. And apparently her parents were both infected. And so she had to kill both of them personally to save her baby brother. Only to find out that they infected him too.
Oh, damn.
And so she had to kill her baby brother.
Like, how baby brother?
Baby.
Like,
It didn't go into detail.
Baby.
I mean, yeah, you say baby brother, and I'm like thinking baby.
I don't know. It might have just been, like, younger brother, because she seemed like almost an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, she was an adult, but, like... Anyway. Apparently, Stephen King is a huge fan of this movie.
Hey.
When it first came out, he bought out an entire theater to sit in there and watch it by himself.
I thought he was going to pull a move where he just let anyone come. But nope.
He's like
Chance the Rapper did that with, like, Get Out and everything. This boy just rents it out for himself. Yo, get out of here.
Most of the infected, they cast, like, pro athletes because the physicality of them was the most important part. And this was the first movie to have to sort of expand on the idea of zombies, because they're not technically zombies, but, like, whatever, we're just going to call them that. The infected were like no like undead or zombie movie before this had zombies as anything more than just shambling, slow-moving, stupid, like, just hordes, and one of them wasn't a problem. It was just getting, outnumbered and cornered. That was, like, the only way you could die. But this is terrifying. The idea of these things sprinting after you. Like their saliva, their blood, a single fleck of blood could get into your mouth, your eye accidentally. Like the one guy got infected from a body that had been dead just like a long time because of a fucking bird.
Yeah,
like
that made me kind of angry.
Yeah,
that was the way he got infected.
Yeah, it's like terrifying. Like, how would anybody survive something like that? It doesn't even have to bite you.
Also, I find it so weird that no one has thought of that before this.
Yeah,
like just make these zombies fast. That's easy. Put me back there. Put me back there. Yeah, I can do it. I'll do it in 2001. I don't care.
It was just
Bad
like
year.
That was a defining thing for zombies, though, that they're slow. They're slow. They're stupid. They're dead. The dead come back to life. And they're still stiff, and they're still dead at the end of the day. So to take something like that and turn it on its head was completely unheard of.
It's crazy.
Bless you.
No, it's a scary idea, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. I would never want to live in like a situation like that. Like in
I'd just
of
be a
all
zombie.
Like zombie movies, I'd just be like, yeah, that's not the one I'd take.
Nah, yeah, man. Remember I Am Legend?
Oof.
What?
No, like the world.
Oh, okay.
That would be a bad one too.
Sometimes I think about that movie. I'm like, that was a good movie.
I was thinking about that movie while watching this one.
Yeah,
me too.
Was heavily inspired by this one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. I remember loving that movie. I remember like when that movie came to DVD, we were trying to hit like a family movie night going, and I was like, oh guys, we should get I Am Legend. I saw this at my friend's house. It's really good. My brother was like, no, let's watch Legion. And I was like,
Legion,
like,
really?
you dumbass. And then they bought Legion, and then my parents didn't like it. And then like a month later, we saw I Am Legend, and my dad was like, hey, yo, Ben, you right. And I was like, hey, thanks, Pops. Classic.
So the role of, what was the main guy's name? Jim?
Yeah.
Right?
Jim.
Was originally offered to Ewan McGregor.
Could not see that.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy.
And then it was offered to Ryan Gosling.
Really? I can see it. Ryan Gosling can do anything.
But it's in London, though.
So? Ryan Gosling can do anything.
2002, Ryan Gosling.
And the only reason he turned it down was a scheduling conflict.
With what? What movie was he doing? Who knows?
I could look it up easily, but I'm not going to.
I got you.
The Nars?
Nars.
Is the Nars movie that he did?
Nars.
I don't know.
Wait, let me look it up.
Oh, you know what?
What year is this?
You know Frank.
2002.
You know Frank played Alistair Moody, right? In Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, why do you look so familiar? And then I was like, oh, Moody. Alistair Moody.
In 2002, Murder by Numbers came out with Ryan Gosling.
That could be. But the general guy, the military guy, Christopher Eccleston. The entire time I was just like, oh, it's Doctor Who. It took me out of it. Which I know that was like after the fact, and I know it's like it's a dumb thing, but it took me out of it a little bit because I just could not see him as that character.
Yeah, that's how I felt, and I was like, wow, this
Which one
weird.
is this? Who?
The like guy in charge of the military.
Oh, Major Henry West.
Also, I'd like to talk about that beginning scene where the tone and setting is set. Like that was.
I really liked the intro. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, the intro's really well done.
Like he wakes up,
and like the streets of London, like just completely empty. Everything's just gone to shit.
No music.
Yeah, everything is completely
it was all quiet.
But then that fucking score came in. Oh my god, I hated the score.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Dude, I love the music in this movie.
I thought it never fit.
Well, okay, the thing is in the house in a heartbeat, that score is brilliant. It's that one song where in the ending, but they like for some reason it's slower than it's actually meant to be. But it's a fast pace. Have you seen Kick-Ass?
No.
Okay, you know when you've seen Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
You know when Big Daddy's fighting?
Yeah.
That's in the house in a heartbeat. Yeah. That's the score.
Where's the kazoo?
I don't know.
I don't know. Stephanie, kazoo it for us.
Oh man, so much.
I thought the score was so cheesy, and I thought it never fit.
I think that's the only one that fit, and that's because I love that.
I like the I like the music in it, but I do get that there were times where it didn't really fit, and the sort of the ending to the movie. It's not the ending, but like the ending, like the climax.
Yeah,
he's coming in and like systematically murdering all the guys like one by one. And he's a normal dude. Like
I hate it when he put his thumbs in the eyes.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so unnecessary.
Yeah, like this guy's taking out a whole group of like trained military dudes, like just by himself, and it just has this like. This backing going on, and it's like this like badass song, and it's like this is like almost against everything else that he's been doing for the whole movie. Mm-hmm. Like the whole point is that he's just an average dude, and he's probably in really bad shape because he's been laying in one spot for like a month straight.
The thing is that I remember being really scared of this movie. And then I see it again, and I'm like, the gory parts are like almost equivalent to Zombieland, where like Zombieland is a comedic movie. Like I was not scared once in this movie, and I was like, wow. Like I remember shitting my pants.
Zombieland actually is almost like a spoof of this movie.
I think the only
there were a lot of mentions in Zombieland to like this movie.
Scene that I connected with this movie and Zombieland, where like I like noticed it deeply, was the grocery scene when they go to the market.
The grocery scene, the idea of like the zombies in general being like fast and able to do things.
Of course.
And
that was like, I feel like nowadays that's how all zombies right now are.
That's fair. Shaun of the Dead did it too. Because it's
such a good movie, though.
Yeah, because it's kind of easier to make it like funny that way, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Although it would also like more suspenseful.
Yeah. Add sort of a sense of urgency when the whole thing is like comedic.
Yeah.
But like, also, I think that there was one scene in Zombieland in like the intro when like I think it's like a stripper zombie or something. I haven't seen the movie.
Is it the one with in the beginning where the credits are
when
going?
It's all in like slow motion?
Yeah,
the zombies chase and her boobs are flopping all over. That was totally a reference to 28 Days Later when the titty zombie came out.
The thing is, I don't remember the titty zombie. Yeah, I don't remember it.
Dude, how do you not remember the titty zombie?
When
did we watch different versions of this movie?
When did it happen?
It's like near the end. When he goes back to the blockade, he's shirtless. He escaped the like execution, and then they chase him there, and the zombies are coming out of the forest, and one of them is just naked.
I kind of remember.
And her titties are flopping all over the place.
I don't.
I kind of remember.
Yeah, no, there was a full-on titty zombie.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
I don't. Well, it might be because
it was only for like a couple seconds.
I watched it on my TV, and I got it free because I think it was recorded on Fox. So maybe Fox may bring it up.
Yeah, definitely. That would have been...
Maybe? Because I don't remember that.
I feel like
wow.
You probably missed more than that.
I have it on DVD, so...
No, I
Yeah,
watched...
you probably missed a good amount. Because
on Fox?
I don't
Fox know if it was Fox, though.
Super censors their movies and stuff. They say fuck 68 times
No,
in this
she
movie.
did. She said fuck you, and it was bleeped out. So...
Yeah.
Oh.
No, they say the word fuck 68 times in this movie. So if you didn't hear it 68 times, then...
Like, you could see her mouthing it, but she didn't say it. Like, she would mouth it, and you're like, all right. Also, I don't like the tilted shots. Inside the apartment where all the shots were tilted. I don't like them.
The apartment? I don't remember this movie.
Frank and...
when they first got... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The tilted shots, how, like, they were screening to, like... They had different shots where it was, like, Jim and Selena, and then there's, like, a aquarium, and then it's the girl, and I don't like tilted shots.
Fun fact about that scene: when they first get in, they're like celebrating. That scene was filmed on September 11th, 2001. And all of the actors just felt uncomfortable filming a happy scene on that day, like filming the celebration scene, and everyone was just like, this is weird and wrong. Like, can we go home?
Yeah, that's weird.
So yeah, that's that.
I'm trying to think what to say about this movie.
Yeah.
I think it got more. I think it started losing my interest like the more it went along, but then once I got to the soldiers and stuff, that's when it got more interesting.
Yeah. I would agree.
And then I don't know. It's kind of just a blur to me.
Apparently one of the most expensive things in the movie was so you remember the like petrol station explosion in the very beginning of the movie?
Yes.
Or not like very, very beginning, but when the flaming zombie runs into the like gas station, it explodes. Apparently they got all the proper permits and everything to blow it up. They had everything like ready, but apparently someone dropped the ball and didn't notify the police that was going on.
It's like Bixby Bear.
And it cost them $250,000
no
in
way.
fines because they didn't notify the police.
Oh my god.
So $250,000 just down the drain from that one shot, and it's not even like the most memorable shot. Like,
wow, that's funny. That sucks.
Yeah.
But back to the mist. I like the one shot. For some reason, it really made me laugh when the guy caught on fire. And
he's just running around, flailing his arms.
Yeah, like stop, drop, and roll.
I have that in my notes. I'm like, stop, drop, and roll, fucker.
But it really made me laugh. And then the guy like steps in front of him and goes, "Where's the fire extinguisher?" I don't know why it made me laugh so hard.
No, but I was thinking about like the sprinklers too, and I was like, shouldn't these be going off? Like at this current moment, but I guess not.
I don't know why. When he yelled out, "Where's the fire extinguisher?" I was dying.
I feel like when I'm bored with movies, I like pick at like everything that's wrong with it, and like the sprinklers.
No, I have a whole list of nitpicks for the mist.
Yeah, there's a lot of nitpicks, and I think that's when I start nitpicking movies, is when I'm like over it.
That was me with Wonder Woman. We're back to episode 1.
Oh, throwback.
That green screen though.
Ooh. The tunnel scene. That scene in the tunnel, which like my heart was like pounding.
The tire change?
And that's when they're trying to change the tire. Yeah.
She was so good at changing that tire.
Yeah. The scene took 2 days to film.
Damn, I believe it. Yeah, that was a pretty stressful scene.
Yeah. No, it was like just stressful the entire time. It's like, what was Selena doing? Like she was just standing there watching as all this is going on. It's like, help. This little girl is like lifting the whole ass tire up and putting it on by herself.
How'd she know how to do that
so good? What are you doing?
She's so smart.
She had a good dad.
Good daddy.
Rip.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah, rip.
This podcast is dedicated to
daddy.
2 dedications.
God,
who's the first one?
Frank, right?
Claudio. Oh wait, yeah, Frank is
Frank.
Frank is the dad.
Dedicated to the dad in
Hey, Frank.
the movie.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good actor. Have you seen In Bruges? In Bruges?
Burgess?
In Bruges? How you say it?
I think it's in Burgess.
I never know how to say it. He was in that.
I have like.
Who's in Harry Potter?
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, there were some stressful scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Like some of them, it's very rare for a movie to actually like get me on the edge of my seat. And this movie managed to do it, even though like, you know, I've seen it before, and it's like everybody knows generally, you know, the sort of story for the movie, but like I knew of course they were going to get away, but like there were still scenes where it was just like, oh my God, like
that's
like move faster, please, like go.
That's when you've made a good thriller, when like you know it's gonna happen, but still while it's happening, you're like getting stressed out.
And I can't even place what makes me do it, because like there are movies that completely fail with that, because it's like, oh, you know exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But this one, like I audibly sighed when they fixed the tire and started driving away.
Yeah. I don't know what makes it either. Just you gotta, I don't know, just pacing and everything. You gotta get that right.
I don't know. I feel like this movie almost started falling apart near the very end. I feel like it had a very solid setup, like a very solid beginning, with the guy getting bitten and she just fucking hacks him to pieces, like just right then and there. It was just like, holy shit, like this is, you know, serious. And then they get to the military, and it's interesting for a little bit, and then the execution scenes happen, and everything from that point on is just like a bad fan fiction.
And the fact that
that's a good way to put it.
You can't remember the ending either. I feel like that's an issue. Like, I don't think they got the ending right. Like, they chose the wrong ending, because even then you're just like, that was really fast.
Yeah.
And you can't remember it.
Thinking about the ending, I don't mind it, but yeah, it took me, you had to explain it to me.
Yeah.
It's like not memorable at all.
I've actually heard that the second one is better.
The 28 weeks later?
Yeah.
I heard that too.
So, I don't know. I might have to just check it out on my own. So, I don't know. That could be interesting, because it's an interesting world. It's definitely a really interesting setup. Apparently they had another one. They had 28 months later in the works.
Yeah.
But the rights are like co-owned by two people that had a falling out and don't talk to one another anymore. So it's not likely that it's going to happen. They have a great idea. They have like a great script. They said they're, as far as I know, there's no like official script, but there is a really solid idea behind it that would have been really good. Mm-hmm. But there's like no chance of it happening. So
damn.
But yeah, I think, I don't know, this movie was interesting.
It's solid.
Apparently, a lot of people commented on, like when it first came out, on the missing person wall, when he was going through and looking at the things, in the beginning, because it was right after 9/11 that this was released. And so he said in an interview, like if we hadn't already filmed that scene, we wouldn't have filmed that scene.
Yeah. Damn.
But they still put it into the movie, so.
Yeah, dude. You've been to New York, right?
Yes.
Did you go to the 9/11 Memorial Museum?
It was still being built when I went. Yeah, it was under construction.
Yeah, we went when we went, and man, yeah, that part. There's a part of the museum when it was just all the missing person posters. Holy shit, dude, that was heavy.
Yeah,
that shit got to me. Sorry.
Anyway, wow, you really 9/11 to this podcast.
I really did.
I mean, you guys 9/11 did the last one.
Chill.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck, Stephanie?
Do you know you guys really did?
What do you mean 9/11 the last one? What did we do the last one? Oh, now it's not there? Because we didn't have last week's?
Wow. No, not last week's, but there was a podcast where you guys were like, 9/11, you guys were like, never forget. And I think it was with Frank. That podcast we did with Frank, we were making 9/11 jokes like all over the place. And now you guys are just like...
Stephanie, this is so distasteful.
I can't...
Stephanie, what the...
You guys did it.
We just talked
about 9/11. And I wasn't talking through that.
Making jokes about it.
Yeah,
I'm not making jokes about it.
This is really bad.
I just find it...
Dude, funny.
Dude,
oh my God.
No.
Just stop while you're behind. You're digging your hole deeper.
No.
Like you can barely reach the rope right now. If you dig any deeper, it's not going to be there for you, you know?
Yeah, you already dug 4 feet, so just your forehead sticking out.
Yeah.
You short little... but yeah.
Anyway, now that Stephanie's 9/11 this podcast.
Yeah. God damn, really though.
So, you know, any updates? I might honestly raise mine to a 7.5.
Did we even talk about this movie?
I mean, sort of. We mostly did fun facts, but like I enjoyed this movie. I thought the acting was good. I thought the score was okay for the most part. The cinematography was interesting, but for the most part very good. I liked that it didn't overuse the shaky cam. Like a lot of movies tend to just like, oh, I don't know what's going on anymore. I just see colors shaking around on the screen. But this one only really used it when doing things like from the perspective of the infected.
That's true.
So it kind of, because they are chaotic. They are, it used it more as a just like storytelling device than as a, oh, things are intense now because the camera is shaking.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And so I thought that was a nice little thing. Some of the cinematography was weird.
I agree.
But I think for the most part it fit into the movie. The tone was set immediately and it was done effectively and it was it was very good. I think the directing for this was phenomenal. I think he had a vision and he like succeeded in like presenting that.
Sorry, never mind. My friend's got tonsillitis and she just sent a picture of her tonsils and it's disgusting.
Boys always on their phones.
I really do be on my phones.
Wow. What's your friend's name so all our listeners can look them up?
Esmeralda.
Everybody look up Esmeralda. She's got tonsillitis.
I hope she gets better.
Me too.
I don't.
Chill, that's my friend.
But no, I think this movie was good. It was solidly written.
Yeah.
And it was like the first of its kind too. So I don't know. I think this movie is kind of like a benchmark in like modern zombie movies. And like without this one, I don't think a lot of what we know today would have been done.
I think someone would have done something like this.
Probably, eventually.
I could do it.
I don't know.
Go back to 2001.
Put me back.
But like it's
I'll stop 9/11 real quick too.
Yeah, it's kind of a rare thing to like turn a genre on its head like that.
And then
like Twilight did it, with vampires, and it did not work out super well. Is it still cool to hate on Twilight? Is it like 2012
actually,
again?
Still
people love it.
Still a better love story
on
than
Twitter.
Twilight.
On Twitter, everybody's like, "Oh my God, Twilight's gonna be on Netflix now." Like
people like anything.
Yeah. Now that it's not cool to hate it anymore, people are just like crawling out of the woodwork like I secretly loved it the whole time.
We're trying to be wholesome here.
Yeah.
Who?
Dude, I don't think anybody hates it more than the people that were in it.
Oh, quick shout out Robert Pattinson.
Oh my God, you man!
He's good now.
I love you.
You guys seen Good Time?
I have heard wonderful things, but I haven't seen it yet.
I've been meaning to maybe pick that for one of my movies. He's great in that.
Yeah,
that was a crazy movie.
Yeah, but what do you guys like think in general of this movie? Like,
it was well done.
What parts did you enjoy? What parts did you hate?
I mean, I don't think there's anything I really loved about this movie. I normally, I'm also kind of just like I have to give respect because it is the first of its kind, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, I don't know, most of these like zombie movies don't do much for me.
Yeah.
But like, I enjoyed it.
I mean,
as a whole.
We're going 16 years like forward, and we have zombie movies now, and then you look at that, and you're just kind of like, it's not fair to critique it. I feel like I'm not being fair. But just based on, because it was first of its kind, I feel like it's a solid movie. Because when I was 6, I was just scared shitless. Mm-hmm. I loved the movie. So I feel like, 6-year-old Stephanie would have been like, hell yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like I wouldn't have gone crazy over this if I was a good age when this came out.
Now, looking at like something else that was sort of the first of its kind, like this, like Alien. Like the movie Alien.
See, that's just a well-made movie,
It's a very well-made movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is phenomenal. It is effective horror, but watching the original theatrical release is not very good.
Wait, is there a different version?
By today's standards, like anyone that I've like shown the original theatrical release to has laughed at it.
Wait, there's a different version?
There have been many like updated like remastered versions.
Is the one that you showed me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was laughing.
Yeah.
That's the one
then maybe I didn't.
But this movie, 28 Days Later, I feel like even 16 years after it's come out, is still an effective thriller.
Yeah, there's nothing I was laughing at.
Yeah, there is no like comical effects to it.
I'm trying to think, which Alien did I watch then? Because I loved it.
No, I loved it too, but like I
just watched it like last year for the first time.
Really?
Yes. I'm a silly little boy.
This movie like really holds up. Just watching the original release of it, it's still an effective thriller. It still like draws you in.
It's nothing I'd go back to though.
That's fair.
I agree.
I'd watch the sequel though. I would watch the sequel.
Yeah, I'd probably check it out honestly if it's on around me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out of my way. I don't think.
That's fair.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm gonna raise mine up to a 7.5. I think.
I'll keep mine at a 7.
I'll keep mine at
Talking to Mike.
I'll do 6.5.
Okay.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
All right. So this has been our movies. This is our podcast. Join us next week, or don't. I'm not the cops. Follow us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. But don't do that because we don't have one.
I almost set one up, but it's a waste of time.
Go to a local store, purchase a lamp, and put it in your bedroom. You need a lamp. It's very dark in there. I think Stephanie's choosing next week's movies. Is that right? Am I correct in guessing that?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What movies are you picking, Stephanie?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to hear what you're going to pick.
Me too.
I just switch up on you right now.
I don't care.
I actually don't remember what you said you were going to pick. So.
I don't either, and we just talked about it.
Beetlejuice.
Oh my God, he's here.
Hey, what's up, dude?
That's one.
How you doing, man?
And
wait, really? Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. You can watch Beetlejuice.
I haven't seen that. I don't even know if I've ever actually seen it.
Yeah, that's why I chose it.
I watched it for like the first time last year, and I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had seen it first as a kid.
I imagine it's not going to hold up.
Yeah, I don't remember it, so I feel like I want to watch it.
Awesome. Okay.
It was between that or The Sixth Sense.
Oh, you should have picked The Sixth Sense.
Well, Ben was like, I think we all watched it already. So I was like, Beetlejuice. We can talk about The Sixth Sense, like,
She doesn't have to
that's not necessarily a Halloween movie.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're saying. Like, Beetlejuice is Halloween central.
And then...
Come on, campy, 80s, slasher.
I mean, to be fair, yours weren't Halloween movies.
That's true.
I'm choosing just Psycho.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I have not.
I watched
Maybe
it
you
the
both
first
haven't
time.
seen, like, classic movies, huh?
I know. That's part of the reason we started this, too.
Yeah.
Because we were both like, hey, we should watch more movies.
Yeah.
Let's have an excuse to watch movies.
That was good.
I've seen, what was the Albert Brooks one? Son of Frankenstein? What was it?
The Thing is also...
Wait, the what?
A thing.
Did Albert Brooks make a Frankenstein movie with Gene Wilder?
There's a lot of
Young Frankenstein?
That's
it.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I remember watching that in Health and being like, no one around me laughing.
I thought it was hilarious.
I don't remember it, but I just remember no one in my class laughing. So I was I guess I won't laugh either.
It's been a few years, but like I remember enjoying it.
I feel like our Spooktober isn't like so gory enough. Like we haven't done 13 or something with like intense blood.
Let's do a slasher.
Yeah.
I don't know any.
Like
Friday the
13th.
I'm
just 13.
Jason X.
I'm gonna do The Shining. Is that good enough?
Fine.
I just want to rewatch it, please.
Okay. Go ahead.
They're making a sequel to it.
Oh, you know what? I always almost get mad, but then I remember Stephen King wrote a sequel.
Yeah.
So I'm open
it's
to
like an official Stephen King thing.
Yeah. So I'm fine with it. I haven't read it. I haven't finished reading The Shining either.
Apparently they tried to get into contact with like the original kid too.
He talks about the movie all the time though. The kid
who was in The Shining?
Yeah, he has the bike.
Oh, he like stopped acting entirely.
Yeah, he did.
That was like the second to last movie that he ever did.
Yeah, but he does interviews.
And then he ended up just becoming a teacher.
Hey, respect.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like a college professor, and people ask him all the time about The Shining, and he just ignores their questions because he hates it.
I would imagine.
It's pretty intense.
Let's get him on the podcast.
Yeah, let's get it. This podcast is dedicated to
Billy.
What's his name?
I have no idea.
From The Shining. It's been so long since I've watched it. Yeah, but that kid, who is now a college professor in like some flyover state.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Proud of him.
I love the faces he makes in The Shining.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
I don't remember
where he just like has like a wide eyed when he gets his like when his second person comes in.
I'm sure.
Apparently, he didn't watch the movie till he was like 18 or something.
Yeah,
he's too young.
Yeah.
You know what other movie?
He didn't even know what the movie was about. He assumed it was some campy, like family vacation movie about it.
Because Jack Nicholson was funny.
Yeah.
He was cool. I was gonna do the Poltergeist because the little girl died. Like in real life.
Spoilers.
No, in real life. Like,
he's spoiled.
Well, no, because she would talk about how the ghosts of the movie were like haunting her, so people think that she died because she filmed the Poltergeist.
Shut up.
So
shut up.
Hello.
Shut up.
She's the one who goes, "They're here."
I've never seen it.
Nice.
But you know that line, right? No way.
I don't know.
I've heard it before.
I see dead people. You know that one.
Yeah, from Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Hey, spoilers.
Probably you haven't heard that line. They're here.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cat.
Wow.
So are we just going to make a tradition where we just talk about our personal lives after we finish the movies?
I feel like that was like I was rewatching.
Well, let's not force it.
Yeah.
You know this one time at band camp?
I was 3 years old. I walked into the kitchen. I looked up at my mother and I said, "How old am I?" And she said, "You're 3." And that's all I remember. That's my earliest memory.
Oh,
my earliest memory is a dream, which really fucks me up. I always remembered it was like St. Patrick's Day. I was waking up and I was following all these like little, the like plastic 4-leaf clovers thing, and it like led to the toilet and everything. I kept following it, and then like I looked at the screen door, and like there's a outline of a man that like jumped through it, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm alive now." But
I had this recurring dream where a deer statue was trying to kill me.
Well, that's frightening.
And if the statue looked at me, I died. So like the statue couldn't move at all. It was just a stationary statue.
Just don't look at it.
But it would just appear places sometimes.
That's
like
spooky.
In my dream, I was like, "Oh, I'm thirsty. I'm gonna go downstairs and get some water." And then I went and got some water, and I went back up, and I opened my door, and the deer statue was just laying on my bed, staring straight at me, and I was just like, "No,
you're dead now."
Yeah, no, the deer killed me so many times. It was a Christmas decoration that we had.
What happens when you die? It was
just a little reindeer.
Did you wake up?
Yeah, I just woke up.
You respond.
I'd always wake up like covered in sweat and everything.
Oh my gosh, you poor thing.
I would always have that dream of my teeth falling out, and then I've
never had that.
I have it all the
time. And you
time.
wake up and you feel like your teeth are still falling out. It's a sign of anxiety. No.
Yes.
I'm really chill.
Yeah, I've never had the teeth falling out dream.
I always have it. I constantly have it. Yeah, it's actually a scary thing.
I haven't had it in so long.
It makes me feel weird.
I have the naked dream.
I've had it recently.
I have naked dreams all the time.
I have never had that.
Like where I just walk out to a place and I've forgot my pants. And I'm like,
I've never had
crap.
that.
I had a dream where...
the falling ones, I've had them.
I don't think I have. But I've had a dream where I was closing the store that we used to work at naked. I was wearing just the apron naked.
Oh my God, you told me about that.
And then like I thought I was just closing it alone, no one was with me, and then the boss came in. Like I quickly had to like change. But, like I wasn't able to change all the way, so I was like kind of talking to her like still half naked. She didn't care.
I just want to mention that these aprons were hot pink.
Yeah.
So Ben in a hot pink apron.
Completely naked, but the apron.
I love hearing all of your pees, Stephanie.
I know. I wish we all had pop filters.
Every pee is just like...
Stop.
It's
not your mic.
All right, Pop.
No. You were forbidden from saying the letter P.
We're slowly getting better equipment. Slowly.
Yeah, I'm currently the only one with a pop filter because y'all are lame.
We have 2 other ones. I just completely forgot about it.
Yeah. My earliest memory was when I was 2, and I pretended to be asleep.
Overachiever here.
I memorized a lot of things. I remember when I was potty trained.
Weirdo.
When my brother was born, I remember like a lot. It's crazy.
Dude, I remember so much from preschool.
Me too. I was a dick.
I didn't go to preschool.
I started a conga line. The entire preschool joined in. I was so popular, dude. I remember eating plants. Crazy.
Dude, I remember my teachers forced me to eat raisins once, and I threw up because I hated raisins. And then I was like, oh no, because it was like crackers and raisins was like the snack for the day. And so I had crackers, and I was like, I don't like raisins. Can I have double crackers? And they were like, no, you can have more crackers if you eat your raisins. I'm just like, I don't want the raisins. And they were like, eat the raisins.
That sassy little boy.
And I was like, fine. So I ate the raisins. And then I threw them up. And I was like, can I have more crackers now? And they were like, no, you didn't eat your raisins.
You had to slap up your throw up.
Yeah.
I used to stuff the oatmeal cookies into my pockets. So when I got home, I would eat them again. I grabbed them from my pockets. My mom was like, what are you eating? And I'd be like, a cookie. She's like, where did you find it? In my pocket. And then she washed one once. It was like it was like half there, stuck to like the lint of my pocket.
Oh no!
And, you know, the 4-year-old stuff, and he was like, "I'm gonna eat it anyway." I just picked up the lint and I still ate it. It was soapy.
Wow.
It was dried though.
That is.
I was
gross.
hardcore.
Disgusting.
I was hardcore.
Oh,
No,
I
that's
wouldn't call it
gross.
that.
I'd call it gross.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, I recently saw the teacher who, like, my preschool teacher. And she's like, oh my god, you're so grown. I was like, yeah, shit like this happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm like old, fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucker.
Oh.
You call her fucker.
What kind of toddler were you?
I don't remember. I was a toddler.
Yeah. I
I
remember
think I was chill.
we did ants on a log at one point, which is you take celery and you put peanut butter in it, and then you put raisins on the peanut butter.
You threw it up.
But I was like, I don't want ants on my log because that's gross. I don't like ants. And then they're like, oh, then it can be flies. And I'm like, I don't want flies on my log either. That's grosser. And so they let me have it without raisins.
Hey, you win that
I
time.
pretended that I was like, ew, gross, bugs.
You win that time.
I was a total neat freak though. Like I would wash my hands after eating Cheetos. I wouldn't suck the dust off my fingers. I hated chocolate because it got my fingers dirty.
You were such a cute toddler. Like, you tell your stories of how cute you were as a toddler, and then
Thank you.
you do like a middle school, and then you're like, wow, Logan.
I was a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed little baby stumbling around. My hair and eye color changed when I was like 3 or 4.
I'm looking at you right now. You don't have either of those.
No, I was born like blonde, blue-eyed, but
my brother had. I think I kind of had
it just changed
blonde hair
over
also.
time.
I think. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a common thing.
It is.
But yeah, my preschool was nice. It was a religious preschool. We learned the Bible. I remember one day we talked about how Jesus fed like 10,000 people with a fish and a loaf of bread. And the pastor was just like, everybody, hold up your hands. And like, how many fingers are you holding up? And we're like, 10. And they're like, he's like, oh, how many times can you do that? And we're like, I don't know, a couple. And he's like, well, he fed way more people than that. And I'm just like, oh, cool.
That's a stupid way to put it.
Yeah. No, it's super dumb.
Aww.
But yeah, that's why I like read the Bible growing up. Because even though we weren't a religious family, my mother was Lutheran, but wasn't practicing until like later in her life. I was raised by like Mormons. And my dad is spiritual. My grandmother is like hardcore Catholic, but
I'm spiritual too. As loony as that sounds, spiritual.
Yeah, and then I just kind
I
of
believe in the universe.
I just kind of came out as like, hey, what's up?
Hey.
I'm here. I don't know. I'm not a really follower of any religion, so.
Yeah, we aren't religious either. My mom made me go to like the Saturday, Sunday, whatever.
Sunday school?
Yeah, we would try to read the
Dude, I did that for a while just because I didn't have anything to do on Sundays.
Nerd. But then like me and some kids would just like draw mustaches on all the faces we saw in the textbook, and we had a good time, and that was it.
My mom swears she's a Catholic, but we don't practice it. And then 3 of my siblings, which is the oldest siblings, including me, we just never went to church or anything. Didn't experience any type of religion. It was awesome.
Dude, there was this big fucking like conspiracy that everybody was in on at my Sunday school, where one of the kids was fucking held back in kindergarten because he was just not prepared for first grade. And so everybody pretended that they did kindergarten twice so that he didn't feel left out.
Oh, no.
That's so cute.
And when I first joined...
Did you ruin it?
Yeah. Because I didn't know. I wasn't in on it.
Oh my god.
And so they were like, oh yeah, I'm in,
God.
I'm in 6th grade. I'm this old. And I'm like, wait, I'm in 6th grade and I'm only this old and I just had my birthday. So why are you a year older than me?
Oh my god.
And he was like, oh, wait, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, you're this age in this grade, this age in this grade. He's like, oh, well, you do kindergarten for 2 years. So no, that's wrong. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Way. That's so funny. That's, have you ever watched?
Everyone was in on it. And they were all like talking to me like, no, you don't. You do kindergarten for 2 years. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Oh my God. Have you ever watched Community?
No.
There's a joke like that. It was Troy's 21st birthday. Well, he thought it was his 20th birthday. But then they're like, what year were you born? He said it. And they're like, wait, you should be 21. He was like, no, I'm actually 20 because everyone repeats the 3rd grade twice. And he just went, oh my God, how many lives have I living, Mom? That's so funny that he said, everyone does kindergarten twice. That's so funny. That's horrible that you spoiled it.
Yeah. No, I still feel bad for it. But like, yeah.
I mean, he would have figured out eventually.
No, he totally would have. But
he must have been like the first 6-year-old to have an existential crisis, huh?
Probably.
That's crazy.
Oh my God. No, that was the only meeting I went to. I didn't go back after that.
Damn.
But yeah.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Okay.
All right. I think we're going to be wrapping up here now. You've had enough of a dive into our personal lives.
Tune in next week.
Thanks to everyone who did the meet and greet at Disneyland with me.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
How many people showed up?
Hey,
we filled up a whole elevator on Guardians. So.
Hey, I'm going to Disneyland next week.
Well, I think all of our listeners are tired of Disneyland, so I don't think they're going to meet up with you.
Okay, yeah.
But let me tell you, we had a bunch of them.
Yeah, there were like all 2 of our listeners were there.
Yeah, we had Jimbo and Diane. And
Claudia.
Yeah.
No, Claudia didn't make it.
Damn.
Claudio did.
Nice. This is falling apart quickly. Should we just have a second podcast where we just answer like one personal question per week? Like,
no, I can't.
That's fair.
No, this commute.
That's fair. All right. Well, I think we're heading out. Stephanie, you are hosting the next episode, so I'm going to entrust you with leading us out of this one.
Whoa.
Ready, go. And that's our show, everyone. Have a good night.